What is up, YouTube? Raise your hand if you want to be a Cardano millionaire. And we are going to tell you in this video why it's not going to happen, okay? I see a lot of things on crypto Twitter about like Cardano millionaire status or getting my 100K ADA and all these things like it's a normal thing. It's not a normal thing. Don't worry. I don't have 100,000 ADA. I don't have $1 million in ADA or anything like that. And so it's okay if you don't either. I'm going to give you 3 specific reasons why you're not going to be a Cardano millionaire by 2025 or whenever the next bull market comes around. And I'm going to give you 3 solutions about how to solve that. Although you might not get to the $1 million status symbol, these are some practical tips you can do to increase your ADA stack if you really want to. Now, I would never say to just go all in on ADA. You know, stocks are great, Bitcoin's great, et cetera, et cetera. But this is what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about 3 reasons why you're not going to be a Cardano millionaire and why I'm not going to be either. Okay, so we're in the same camp. The first reason is that you just don't have enough money invested into ADA. So, you know, if you have $1,000 or $10,000 invested into ADA right now at 40 cents, and it gets back to $3 or $4 or $5, that's somewhere between a 7 and a 12x. It's just not going to turn out to be $1 million. Even if you had $100,000 invested right now, that'd be kind of like the minimum. $100,000 at 40 cents would equal $1 million in 2025. So unless you have that ability, you're just not going to be a Cardano millionaire. What are some solutions to this though? If you don't have $100,000 sitting around right now at 40 cents to invest in ADA, and you can buy over time and start chipping away at that, if you know that that's a goal, maybe you can start cutting back expenses. Maybe you can start you know, reducing subscriptions you have. Maybe you can stop eating out. Maybe you can find a higher paying job or have a higher paying skill. Maybe you can start something that brings revenue in. And, you know, if you wanted to immediately start earning more money next week, you can go get a part-time job. If you went and got a part-time job and earned $250 extra a week and you put it all into Cardano, that can be an extra $1,000 a month that you're putting into Cardano. If you put an extra $1,000 a month over 2 years into Cardano, that'd be about $24,000, and it was all at a buy price of like 40 cents. That can really add up if that 10x is, and now you're at $240,000. Okay, so the first reason is going to be that most people just don't have enough money to invest. All right, investing is a rich man's game in order to make rich man's sums, right? If you have $1 and you double it, you have $2. If you have $1 million and you double it, you got 2 million, right? So it takes a lot of money to make a lot of money, especially, you know, when you're doing like 10x's and below, which is not a bad return at all. It's just not going to take you from 1,000 to 1 million. It doesn't work like that. The second reason that you're not going to be a Cardano millionaire by 2025 is that Cardano ADA is just not going to move enough percentage wise. You're not going to see it do 1,000x or, you know, 100x even, which would be 1,000%. Percentage wise, it just doesn't have that much more room to grow as rapidly unless something really just takes off from left field, which I personally would not set as a realistic expectation. I would make that a happy surprise, but it's not a realistic expectation to expect out of your investment. Even if you had $10,000, which for the majority of us is hard, really, really hard to have 10 grand to invest right now. If you had 10 grand right now at 40 cents and, you know, Cardano 10x to $4, right? It did 10x, which is 1,000%. You would end up with like 100 grand. So it's just, you're still a whole 10x off from 1 million. So it just, you need a lot more percentage gain, and Cardano ADA is just not going to give you that. The ways that you can go about getting that is invest in smaller Cardano native tokens. Now you're taking on more risk, but with more risk comes more reward. I would never say to go do that in all your money, maybe small portions, but it's just what kind of risk reward are you willing to take? The other things you can do is yield farming opportunities or use AA to finance or opt-in finance to get 5% here, 5% there. And eventually over time, you can double your stack. But again, if you don't have enough percentage upside, you need to accumulate more at the bottom and, you know, get a second job or earn more or find a way to get more money in the game so that smaller percentage gains give you enough return. The third reason why you're not going to be a Cardano millionaire in 2025 is that the average Cardano holder only has 1,000 ADA. Okay, so if you go on CEX Explorer or any of the Cardano tracking tools, you can see that the average wallet has anywhere from 100 to 1,000 ADA dollars worth of ADA in it. Now, with that amount per wallet. I know people have multiple wallets. Like I have 3 wallets. Most people who are really heavy Cardano users have a couple wallets, but it's really hard to have over $1,000 in ADA in 3 different wallets, right? I don't have that. Maybe some big, people on Twitter have that, but I don't have that, and you probably don't have that either. With the average person having, $1,000 in ADA per wallet, it may, or less in a wallet, right? And we'll assume one wallet's one person for the majority of people. The average Cardano holder just won't have the ability to get to that $1 million mark within 2025, within the next bull market. So what solutions do you have? Be more patient. Wait till 2023. Wait till 2030 or 2035, right? If you're more patient, kind of like Warren Buffett, if you wait a long time, you can cash out at the very end and you might have that $1 million. If ADA gets, $25, $30, $40, which would be very hard, but it's possible. Other things you can do, again, is increase the stack somehow. But realistically, the average Cardano holder is not going to be able to get to that 1 million mark simply because of how the normal distribution of it all works, right? If you're average, it makes it much harder to do unaverage things. The average person in the world will not have $1 million, right? The average person won't make over 6 figures, right? These are above average things. So if you want to be an above average person, you have to find ways to get above average. I'm making this video to share some insights from other people that you might not hear. It's the real hard truth of the matter of fact. Don't expect that $1 million from ADA. Don't be DCAing every week expecting to be at $1 million in the next bull market. It's not going to happen with ADA. It's just not. I've had that realization. You have that realization. You and I are just not going to be there from ADA itself. What have I done to try and change this for myself? I'm adding skills to my job to earn more money. I'm spending less than I earn, and I'm finding ways to cut back, right? Less eating out. I don't subscribe to any streaming services. I actually use my parents' Netflix, right? I'm cutting back on these things. I don't have a car payment, right? And so I'm trying to find ways to save more money myself, to invest more, although I am putting a lot in S&P 500 and other places. So it's not all going into ADA. I have also started this YouTube channel, which doesn't make me any money currently, but I think it will in 2023. And I don't do it just for the money. I like being in the Cardano ecosystem, but I do expect it to start making money, which if I wanted to invest in Cardano, I could. These are options that you have. You can do this if I'm doing this because we're the same type of person. All you have to do is just go do it. Those are my 3 reasons why you should stop trying to be a Cardano millionaire. Just do the best you can and invest what you can. Don't stress yourself out. Don't freak yourself out. Don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be emotionally attached to the Cardano price. Put yourself in a position where you invest and forget and don't think about it. And then when everyone's going crazy in 2025, 2026, you're like, oh, whoa, I got like 100 grand. And you just cash it out, buy again at the bottom of the bear and do it one more time. And now you've really became a Cardano millionaire. It takes 2 cycles. If you have $1,000 or $10,000 and you 10x it this time and you 10x it next time and you 10x it again, you will be a millionaire at the end. So don't give up. All right. If it's something you really want, you can do it. Other than that, I hope this video brought some insight and some realistic expectations on what to expect. Leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.